This week's edition of Hawk Talk is brought to you by the Meredith Inn, the Co-op Store, and by the Indiana Elks Lodge. Now, let's go live to the Indiana Elks. Here's Jack Benedict.
And hello, everyone, and welcome aboard to Hawk Talk. This is our final show for the season. Glad to have you in. Jack Benedict here with Coach Paul Tortorella. We talk IUP football until the 7 o'clock hour, something that we've been doing throughout the football season. We're here at the Elks Lodge, and I'll tell you what, we have a great crowd here tonight for the show. I'm glad to have you along. A little bit later on, we'll have a winner of a gift card from one of our sponsors, the Meredith Inn, and we will hear from a gentleman from the Elks Lodge who talks about this place and what they do to benefit the community. So we're glad to have you along here as we talk football with Coach Tortorella. Well, Coach, season came to an end on Saturday. It seemed like it was weeks ago. It was only 2 days ago. But let's take a look at the first half. First of all, final score was 23-20. Give me a little summation of the first half of play.
Well, it kind of reminded me of the Slippery Rock game. You know, we had control of it, but we actually should have been up by probably 2 touchdowns at least. Had a bust on defense where we gave up a score where they would have had to kick a field goal. And then after a partially blocked punt offensively, we didn't do anything with it. You know, we got the ball on the 37-yard line and actually lost yardage, so there was another opportunity that we let get away. We did run the fake punt that kept the drive going, and we scored on that. But, you know, other than really the third play of the game and the pass where we didn't come off on the running back, they hadn't done much in the first half but had 10 points. And, you know, we probably should have had more than 20. So, you know, it's hard to explain. I never felt comfortable during this game. Like, all the other games that we played against all the other teams, whether, you know, we were up big or it was a tight game, I just never felt comfortable for some reason during the game. And when we were only up 10 at the half, you know, we impressed upon the team like it's 0-0. We got to go out and win the second half. And, you know, we just probably played our worst half of football all year. And you'd hate that. You hate for that to be your last half of the season, especially for the seniors. But when you look at it statistically and obviously score-wise, we didn't. It was our worst half of the season.
I saw that, just what you mentioned about not having a good feeling about it. You had talked about it on the post game. When did that all come about? You usually don't have that happen.
No, just during the first half. You know, a lot of things. We dropped some passes that we don't normally drop. A couple things in the kicking game. You know, dropped a punt. We hadn't done that all year. A couple things that we did defensively that we hadn't done all year. So, you know, that's why at halftime we tried to, like, get it going and you know, come out and act like the score was 0-0, which we do usually every halftime. But we were adamant about getting our team ready to go in the second half. And don't worry about what the score was.
How much did the field goal that they got gave them momentum?
Yeah.
You would think, okay, it's halftime, so we can all regroup. But they carried it over there.
It gave them a little momentum, and then we kicked off to start the second half. We took the win for the fourth quarter, so we actually had a lot of success with our bloop kick over on their sideline there, and we had 2 or 3 guys right there to make the tackle on like the 12-yard line because the guy fumbled it because it was close to the sideline. It was kicked perfectly. Andracey did a great job, and we just had guys run past the returner. So they ended up getting it on the 27, I think, instead of the 12. And then we had 3 third-down opportunities on that drive to get off the field. And then the other problem we had was we had a roughing the passer call that, you know, in that kind of game, I really didn't agree with the call. I didn't see it live, but after looking at it on video, I don't agree with the call. Not in that game, in that situation, because it was going to be 4th and 5. So they probably were going to kick a field goal and make it 20-13 if he would have made it. But it gave him an automatic first down. And it was really not – I mean, we hit the quarterback a lot harder without getting a penalty than we did when we got called for – it was just a really late shove that wasn't very bad. And it the guy barely went down, the quarterback. And I just didn't agree with that. But that doesn't excuse – we still had a chance to stop him.
Sure.
But it would have been a field goal attempt. They were getting ready to bring the field kicker on until they saw what the penalty was, and then went in and scored. We got a PI in the corner of the end zone, a defensive holding. So that now they got the momentum, and anytime you're playing a team that is so-called not really an underdog, that's playing kind of with house money, so to speak, I call it. When you have a chance to put them away, you have to do it. And we let them hang in the game in the first half. And then to start the second half the way we started it, now we were really in trouble, so to speak.
Yeah. Here's one of the fans' question for you. Did Assumption make any second-half adjustments on either side of the ball that gave us trouble, or was it just performance that fell off?
Well, it was more performance than anything, but they did they got in a formation that they hadn't used all year, and they didn't use it in the first half, and it caused us a problem on the one run, their longest run, on their second touchdown drive in the second half. We hadn't seen that formation all year, as a matter of fact, and we didn't play it well, obviously. And they also used it when they were backed up and coming out. They got a 15-yard gain out of it, and we hadn't seen it, so I got to give them credit. They got in a formation we hadn't seen against them or all year, and we didn't play it well. But part of it was we hadn't played against that formation all year.
Another question here from one of the fans. Did we get away from the run in the second half, or did they just stop it?
Well, we were running it okay. We thought we had some answers in the passing game. The Wildcat in the first half helped us when we put Parsons in the Wildcat down in the red zone. And maybe we should have went back to that in the second half, even when we weren't in the red zone, because they struggled with it. But when your best players are your quarterback and your two receivers, because Coleman didn't play, and then you throw Chamonix in there, and Parsons catches a lot of passes, and you don't like to take the ball out of your quarterback's hand. It's easy to second guess after the fact.
Yeah.
But we could play better. And actually, the kicking game was really good. We had the fake punt. We did fumble the one punt, but the punter did a great job, Spittler. We pinned him down inside the 15 3 times. He actually made the tackle on the extra point that got blocked. But we did some really good things in the kicking game. The fake punt, if Parker doesn't drop it, and then he luckily gets a good bounce and picks it up to make the first down, it's probably going to be at least a 25-yard. The return specialist is going to have to tackle him because there's nobody there. But, even that play, and then you say, well, what are you feeling uncomfortable about? Well, we got a fake punt, and it's there, and it's going to go big, and we drop the ball. Luckily, we got a good bounce, which would have been really bad as if we didn't make the first down.
Yeah, it was a perfect bounce.
But a perfect bounce. And we at least made the first down. And then we went in and scored anyway after the fake punt. But just everything that you thought, was really good that ended up not working out really good. Same thing with, a couple plays on defense. Bad coverage, bad eye discipline. And I'll give them the other thing they did a pretty good job of is they used a ton of motion. And they really hadn't used a ton of motion in the past. So they had us, that's what motion does to you. it kind of gets you. You can't really lock in and play aggressive, and it gets you moving and checking coverages and so forth. And I give them credit for that also.
The question that I'm sure that you as the coaches have mulled over in the last couple of days, and what we've seen in the 4 losses, it's unbelievable that in those games, the second half.
Yeah, really the third quarter has been our problem in those games.
The scoring there was 60-13 in the second half in those 4.
Yeah, in the 4 we lost, yep.
Yeah,
and then in the other games that we won, our second halves were really good, even after the facts yesterday, I'm sitting there, maybe we should practice halftime and take a 15-minute break in the middle of practice. Really. Go out, stretch again like we do when we come out to the field for the second half. And maybe, you start thinking about all those things. But, yeah, it's something that was concerning.
Another question from one of the fans here. Your offensive line has been questioned all year. How do you rebuild the O-line, recruitment or development?
Yeah, both. It's young.
Yeah.
I mean, we lose 2 seniors, and the rest are all young guys. We obviously were on our 3rd left tackle because of injury. We played 2 freshmen and a sophomore and 2 sophomores. So they'll develop. And then obviously recruit some young linemen, and then if there's a lineman available in the portal, see if we can get involved with that. So it's you just every position you got to look at, and some need more help than others. Some are you got some developed players where you're in pretty good shape, but. So I would say development and recruiting.
Center position is so important. Coaches and fans don't overlook it, and the players certainly know. We were lucky that Matt Nelson came back.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, he gave us what he thought he would.
Do you have somebody in there?
Well, we're looking at if Fuchs doesn't go there, we got the freshman Valdez that we're probably going to move to center. And we got a couple other young guys that we can look at, but right now we're looking at moving Valdez to center, the true freshman.
All right, we're going to be back with part 2 coming up. Hawk Talk, Coach Paul Tortorella. Great crowd here tonight. Stay with us. We have more questions. We have an Elks Lodge representative coming along, and we'll be back with you coming on Renda Digital TV and also, of course, on the FM side, U92.5, U92Radio.com. We'll be right back.
For food, fun, and entertainment with a purpose, the Elks Lodge 931 in Indiana is more than a place. It's community. Become an Elk. Enjoy food, fun, bowling, music, events, and a banquet hall. Distinctly American, Elks are rooted in brotherly love, charity, fidelity, and justice. Annually giving tens of thousands to local charities. We give back not at the Elks, as an Elk. See them at 475 South 13th Street and on Facebook today. Elks Lodge 931, where community and compassion meet.
From furniture to flooring, mattresses to accessories, you'll save big at Dowd's. Dowd's showrooms are filled with furnishings from America's finest manufacturers. You can save thousands on Dowd's floor samples and receive incredible savings on custom orders. Whether you're looking to furnish one room or your entire home, right now it's all on sale at Dowd's. Drive a little, save a lot. Dowd's of Plumville and Greensburg.
Doesn't your home deserve Dowd's?
Located along the beautiful Allegheny River in downtown Katanning, the Meredith Inn provides an atmosphere of casual, upscale dining. If you're looking for the perfect venue for your next event, look no further than the Meredith Inn. Family gatherings, wedding rehearsal, business meeting, or just a night out. It's perfect for all occasions, and their menu has something for everyone, leaving all full and satisfied. For more information, visit them at themeredithinn.com or call 724-793-7364.
Welcome back, everyone, to Hawk Talk. Jack Benedict with Coach Paul Tortorella at the Elks Lodge. We have a great crowd on hand tonight, just giving away. Somebody's going to get an autographed football too, with the promotion here that the Elks Lodge has, which would be something to keep in mind. Coach, go back to the last drive that you had, and then to see that you came up 1 yard short. But describe when I think you got it with like 2 minutes 29 seconds left.
Yeah, we had we made a first down, got out of bounds. It was like 2:06 on the clock, so we just let it run out to the 2-minute warning, and then Matt made a bad decision on one of we ended up at third. It was 3rd and 8, and we missed a receiver that looked like he was pretty open and took a shot with a deeper pass to Boyd. I think that was 2nd and 8. So then 3rd and 8, they had us covered pretty well, and he got some pressure, so he got out and threw the ball away. And then on 4th and 8, we went for it, and he didn't see the linebacker drop into the boundary. All he saw was the shallow, and he hit Chamonix, and he thought he was going to be able to run for a first down because he caught it at about 6 yards, but we needed 8. And the linebacker dropped and stayed into the boundary. Instead of dropping straight back, he pushed to the boundary. And as soon as Chamonix caught it and started, running for the first down, the linebacker came from the boundary. And Matt or Chamonix didn't see him.
Yeah, and
so he was about a yard short.
Yeah.
They,
you had mentioned it before. They made some great plays. The other thing is, 3rd down conversions. They really hurt you on that.
Yeah. Well, the one drive we had them 3 third downs, and on one we blitzed. The other one we went full coverage, and the other one we zone blitzed. So we threw 3 different things at them in all 3 third downs, and the quarterback ran the ball on one. He scrambled for a first down, and that hurt. That was the first one. It was 3rd and 8, and then the penalty. They threw it. It was 3rd and 15. They caught a pass for, I think it was 10 yards. It was going to be 4th and 5, but we had a 15-yard roughing the passer penalty that added on to it.
Were you surprised the way they played you again with Massey? Because virtually they kept him out.
They do so many different things with that. Like I said, it's that Seton Hill type defense that they run.
Okay, yeah.
And they switched up a little bit in the second half, but we had really good field position in the first half too. And we didn't have very good field position second half. We dropped a pass on 3rd down on one of our drives in the 3rd quarter that would have had us 1st and 10 on their 40. We just missed twice on deep balls with Massey. The one he usually catches, the other one Matt overthrew him on the other sideline, down at the 10-yard line.
Yeah.
And the one on our sideline, Maurice usually makes that catch. We'd had it 1st and 10 on their 35. So we just weren't, we weren't in rhythm. And, a lot of us are looking and saying, well, maybe we left our game in Kutztown. Maybe that was, we gave a pretty good effort out there and had a chance to win. And then, to come back and play the next week, maybe we just didn't have it.
Well, you stated that you didn't have a good feeling about the game as it went on. How about during the course of the week?
Oh, no. We even cut back on practice because we knew the Kutztown game took a lot out of us. And it was a tough game. Every play the game was on the line. So we cut back a little bit in practice to stay fresh. And practices went well. And we were up 20-7. Things were going good at the beginning.
Well, here's another question from one of our fans. With our second half collapses in each loss, did we just lack killer instinct to put the teams away?
A little bit. A little bit of it is, and especially when you're playing a team that's maybe a little bit of an underdog, if you let them hang. It's like I said, it was the same thing at Slippery Rock. We went in 20-10. We were winning. We very easily could have been up 28-7 at Slippery Rock. Well, same thing Saturday. We really lost an opportunity for 7 points on offense, and a mistake defensively makes them kick a field goal instead of scoring the first touchdown. And that first touchdown starting off the game gave them some juice and
some momentum.
Yeah.
Another question from a fan here. the trend of losing close games continues. Is it just coincidence, or does it become a mindset at some point?
We happen to, with our schedule, we played 8 one-score games, and we won 4 and lost 4. So with the way the schedule was, and with the clock shortening the game, you're going to play a lot of one-score games, and we were in pretty good shape up until the last 2. We had won our share of one-score games during the season, and we didn't the last 2, obviously.
Yeah. The play of Devin Whitlock was terrific. Set a new record, most catches in a season at IUP, and it seems like that guy doesn't even tire. He takes a lot of the defense away that helps the other receivers.
Right.
So that has to be a big plus. I know somebody had asked, I know the answer, but why Jeremiah Coleman play?
Well, he actually tweaked his hamstring in practice on Thursday.
I saw that right.
Just in a 2-minute drill, and, it's a shame. We do it every Thursday, 2-minute drill. We needed it at the end of the game Saturday, but he just stepped the wrong way, and he missed 2 games because of hamstring earlier in the season. Yeah. And he had been good. Had no problems, obviously, last 4 or 5 games he played, and he had a great game out at Kutztown, and there was nothing that led up to it. He was fine, and he made a move and a step, and he wasn't even really running that hard because we don't go full speed in the 2-minute drill. And you could have put him out there, but it wouldn't have been. He wouldn't have been 100%.
How much does that change your offense?
Well, he's the big third option. He's a big downfield threat like Massey. So with him not in there, we had Massey as the one downfield threat, and then Whitlock's more underneath, get the ball to him in space. So it took away, statistically, most of his catches are over 15 yards. I think he had 6 touchdowns this year. But, they didn't play with their starting quarterback, who's a really good player, too. He was player of the year in their league. So, they were playing without their starting quarterback.
Now, you and I have seen a lot of football games.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a play where the quarterback gets knocked out? That was incredible, wasn't it?
I'd never seen it.
And it was scary.
Yeah. And they said after the game, they said he was okay. So I guess he'll play this week. But it was unfortunate that he didn't drop the ball. Because if he drops the ball, I don't really, I don't want the kid to get hurt. But if he drops the ball there's nobody there for them, and we could have picked it up and run 95 yards for a touchdown.
Incredible.
And then late in the game, when the other quarterback was in there, they ran the quarterback, and he fumbled. And our guy's ready to go jump, dive on it. And one of their linemen swings his leg. He doesn't even know it's a fumble because the ball's behind him. And he knocks it forward back to the quarterback. It was on the last series, actually.
Yeah. Well, the third-string quarterback came in there, and he made a big play.
Yeah, well, the thing was, that at the end, it was probably, they were running plays at the end. They didn't even have to really run a play. They could have took a knee, He made a play that they got a first down on, so we got the ball with 3 minutes left instead of 5 minutes left, which is a big difference. Yeah. But on that series, before he made the play that made the first down, that's when he fumbled. We had 3 guys there. If we can get on it, we got it on their 30-yard line. We're actually already in field goal range for the tie. The ball was right there, and we're ready. And the lineman swings his leg, and it goes back. He kicks it back to the quarterback.
How difficult is it when a season ends this dramatically? And there were hopes, of course. You always have hopes of going farther and farther. How tough is it for a coach to greet the players? And
it's hard because at that point, you got seniors that are done playing.
Yes.
Obviously, you're in the final 8 of the region, hoping to get to the final 4. But at the end of the day, you know, what happens is when you play in the playoffs a lot, you know, which we've done here for a long while, the only time you're going to win your last game is if you win a national championship. It's just like the Super Bowl in the NFL, and you know, your last game's going to be a loss. Like the last 2 years, we weren't in the playoffs. Well, we won both our last 2 games, the last 2 seasons. But the season was over. You know, you feel good about winning, but you didn't make the playoffs. So if you have a choice, you'd rather make the playoffs and lose your last game than not make the playoffs and win your last game. I mean, in a roundabout way, I explained that to the team today in regards to, hey, you know, you won the West. You went out to Kutztown and gave them all they could handle. You know, they're going to be a tough team to beat. You know, I mean, they haven't played a game where they haven't won by 30 points or more except for our game. Maybe we woke up Kutztown too, like Gannon did for us in 22 when we lost out there, and then we made the run and beat Shepherd and won the PSAC. You know, because they had won every game by 30 points or more, and they were in a dogfight against us. So, you know, those are the things you want to look. You don't define yourself by your last game. You had a big win at Clarion, then you went to win the West, then you went to Kutztown and gave them the, you know, third-ranked team in the country, deservedly so, and gave them all they could handle. So, I mean, there's a lot of different ways to look at it that way, but you know, hey, when the bar's high and the standard's high, and you get in the playoffs, there's going to be disappointment at the end unless you win the national championship.
When a season ends, any season, now do you meet individually with coaches first and players? Or how do you handle it?
Yeah, you meet with the coaches individually. Then players are home for Thanksgiving now, so we'll meet with them individually, both the position coach and then I'll meet with them individually. You know, the whole team. So it's a long process for me. The position coaches, depending on how many players they have, it's not obviously.
Does that slow you down as far as recruiting?
Well, no, because we're not on the road yet anyway. We'll be going out on the road after we do our exit interviews next week. So, you know, it's a way for you to get some feedback from the players and understand where they're at, and things that, you know, maybe they really like or things that they don't like that they think maybe we can do better. You know, I've been coaching a long time, but I listen to everybody. Like, you know, I'll take, you know, a suggestion from anyone if it makes sense, and you know. Sure. So sometimes we get some good suggestions from the players.
Yeah, I'm sure there are people here that have suggestions. You know? All right,
if they're good, I'll take them.
We'll take them. Okay, we're open forum here. We're going to be back in a moment, and we have a special guest coming up. It's Hawk Talk with Coach Tortorella, and we'll return on Renda Digital TV and, of course, the U92Radio.com. Be right back.
1936, Walker Motor Company in downtown Katanning has served Western Pennsylvania with its no-pressure, no-hassle environment, bringing the kind of family-owned and oriented dealer experience that everyone wants when it comes time to purchase a new or used vehicle. Whether you are looking for a new GMC, pre-owned vehicle, service, or collision repair, come on over to Walker Motors and see why they've been voted #1 for 8 straight years. Visit them at walker-motor.com.
Show your IUP spirit and get your hawk on with help from the Co-op Store, your one-stop location for all your IUP swag and apparel. Check out Norm's Bargain area for $25 fleeces and hoodies. Logo tees only $9.99. The Co-op Store is also the alumni headquarters. IUP is always in your heart, so put something on your front and back that shows that alumni spirit. IUP logoed water bottles, coffee mugs, spirit items for your dorm or man cave. And don't forget the Oak Grove collection. Get your hawk on at the Co-op Store or find them online at IUPstore.com.
Looking for food, fun, and entertainment with a purpose? The Elks Lodge 931 in Indiana is more than a place. It's community. Become an elk. Enjoy food, fun, bowling, music, events, and a banquet hall. Distinctly American, Elks are rooted in brotherly love, charity, fidelity, and justice. Annually giving tens of thousands to local charities. We give back not at the Elks, as an elk. See them at 475 South 13th Street and on Facebook today. Elks Lodge 931, where community and compassion meet.
Welcome back, everyone. Busy place here at the Elks Lodge. Glad to have you with us for Hawk Talk. Jack Benedict, Coach Paul Tortorella, and Ned Selhorst is with us right now. Ned, you are the secretary of the lodge here, and welcome aboard. I see you're in proper attire.
Absolutely. It's a yearly purchase for me. I head up to the bookstore every time I'm around.
There you go. First of all, tell us about the lodge itself. With the holidays coming up, we're right in the midst of it now. And even the course of the whole season, the lodge is always involved in something. So what's next on the agenda?
Well, absolutely. We have a very busy month coming up. Starting actually this weekend. Well, starting tonight with Hawk Talk, and then we go to bingo on Friday night. We have a customer appreciation night on Saturday, 6 to 8 here in the lodge. We have a karaoke night after that. Sean Moran's coming in for that. December 6th, our Christmas dinner. We have, beyond that, I think the next big event is New Year's Eve, although we do have a few Christmas parties at the YMCA. We have a children's Christmas party here on December 13th. They'll be down in the bowling alley. The 20th, the craft show. That's just to get started. Then we start the new year and we start all over again.
Yeah. Well, that's enough to keep you busy. Now, you're the secretary, right? But you do other things too, right? It's like versatility the coach has with players. Well, what all are your responsibilities?
I take care of the membership and pretty much all the cash that comes in. We do a lot of things with a lot of the charitable organizations in town: Cancer Society, Humane Society, Four-Footed Friends, Veterans Association. We just had our Veterans Day breakfast a couple weeks ago. A lot of people come for that. And it's just keeping things flowing and keeping and always looking for new members. Always that we have an initiation tomorrow night. We've got 7 new people coming in, so we're good.
For anybody that wants to join, what do they need to do?
Yeah, well, we keep applications right here at the doors, and we always have people willing to sign for you. It's a little bit of a process. We do an interview and do a balloting, but it takes probably less than a month to join, and it's relatively cheap. And it's, you have nights like this where we're eating wings. They've got pool league here. We're shooting pool. We've got talking to you guys. It's fun place.
Coach, it's. I know all of us are really thankful that we can come in this location. This is a couple of years now, and look how this has grown over there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Last few.
Yep.
Yeah. And there's always some kind of activity. I think that's a credit to the lodge itself. Okay, personally, I'm going to attack you here because you're IUP. You've been an IUP fan for a long time. Tell us about your background and how that all came about.
My dad taught here, so we moved to Indiana. I think I was 2 years old. Went to the Key School up on campus, always on campus. Being having a tuition break, it took me a couple extra years to get through. I really enjoyed my time.
We won't tell. Don't tell anybody.
But yeah, I started here in 1970. A couple different majors. Ended up graduating in business and moved away for a little bit. Followed my career, but ended up coming back. Yeah.
And you followed IUP football for a long time,
I've had quite a few friends that played, and
was that right?
Over the years, yeah.
You want to mention them, or are they? You haven't seen them in years, and you've forgotten who they are.
70s, 80s.
70s and 80s.
Yeah.
Okay, I go back that far.
Yeah. Doug Roth was one. He was a 4-year starter, defensive end, a good friend of mine.
Good. And you were at the game the other day.
We're at the game the other day, and then I missed a couple, but I saw an obvious pass interference play the other day that whole side of the field yelled.
I think I know a place.
I was going to say, you do, yeah. Well, to be in the community this long and be a part of it, I think we need more of that. really.
Absolutely.
This is a great place that we've all said that we are, and from the standpoint of your background, have you ever played football?
Not organized.
Okay, but you know the game, you follow the game.
Absolutely.
Have any favorite players?
Used to, I would say.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. From the standpoint of what you've seen with Coach Briggs and his players, and the people that have been here, they just love what they've seen with these players. How about the way you feel about how they've handled themselves and just what we're seeing, because they're more than just a number?
I have to say I've been really impressed with the kids you've had in here. I mean, they're all very well spoken, very respectful, have a good feeling for what they're here for too. I mean, some of the kids that have been fifth-year seniors that are getting their master's degree. I mean, they know the opportunity they have, and they're taking advantage of it, and it's really nice to see. It's really nice to see.
And I think, Coach, you've said all along, we go for football players, but we go for good people.
Yeah, yes. Good people, good students. Want to be a positive influence on the program.
Yeah.
That's they got to be able to play football, but there's other things too.
Sure. Yeah. How much have you enjoyed this?
Oh my, I haven't missed one yet.
Yeah, I thought there are a lot of people here that haven't missed any. It's good. Yeah, we hate to see it come to a close, but the seasons. It seems like we wait for so long for the season to come, and then it flies by.
It goes fast.
Yeah. But although Coach has said, and we've said that it is a marathon, going back to whenever.
Yeah, when you're in it and playing and coaching, and it's a 3.5 months deal, and if you'd have been playing this weekend, you're almost into December, which we've done before. I remember in 17 we played on December 9th. The semifinal game, and then in 22 it was the regional championship. It was like December 5th at Shepherd.
Yeah.
So you know, if you can get into the playoffs and win, you'll get into December playing, and you start camp August 10th.
And then, was there any one game that you remember that maybe was one of your favorite games if you've seen IUP play?
This year?
Anytime.
I'd like the Edinburgh game. That was probably my favorite one so far. That was fun to watch.
Yeah, there are a lot whenever you're over a period of time that you can put in certain categories.
Absolutely.
That stand out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, listen, hey, thanks for joining us here. We appreciate it. We thank the Lodge for what they've done here for us in the last couple of years.
Yeah. Well, we thank you for being here, and hopefully we'll do it next year, too.
Well,
we'll do it again. We'll sign up right
Lord
away.
willing, we'll take it one day at a time.
That's right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ned Seelhorst, he's the secretary of the Elks Lodge. Great fan. Great to have him here. And we're going to be back with our fourth quarter, and we'll see what we go there with Coach Tortorella. So stay with us. We have some more questions coming up for you. Be back with Hawk Talk from the Elks Lodge on U92Radio.com and also Renda Digital TV.
Furniture to flooring, mattresses to accessories, you'll save big at Dowd's. Dowd's showrooms are filled with furnishings from America's finest manufacturers. You can save thousands on Dowd's floor samples and receive incredible savings on custom orders. Whether you're looking to furnish one room or your entire home, right now it's all on sale at Dowd's. Drive a little, save a lot. Dowd's of Plumville and Greensburg.
Doesn't your home deserve Dowd's?
Located along the beautiful Allegheny River in downtown Katanning, the Meredith Inn provides an atmosphere of casual upscale dining. If you're looking for the perfect venue for your next event, look no further than the Meredith Inn. Family gatherings, wedding rehearsal, business meeting, or just a night out. It's perfect for all occasions, and their menu has something for everyone, leaving all full and satisfied. For more information, visit them at themeredithinn.com or call 724-793-7364.
Since 1936, Walker Motor Company in downtown Katanning has served Western Pennsylvania with its no-pressure, no-hassle environment, bringing the kind of family-owned and oriented dealer experience that everyone wants when it comes time to purchase a new or used vehicle. Whether you are looking for a new GMC, pre-owned vehicle, service, or collision repair, come on over to Walker Motors and see why they've been voted #1 for 8 straight years. Visit them at walker-motor.com.
Welcome back, everybody. We're in the fourth quarter here of Hawk Talk. Jack Benedict with Coach Paul Tortorella. Thanks to the Elks Lodge and to Ned. We just chose the last winner for our Meredith Inn and the gift card, and the winner is Donna Giovanni. Donna is out there somewhere. Yes. All right. I have another question here from one of the fans. 5 of the 7 wins came against teams with a combined 17-38 record. In the games against opponents with 7 or more wins, who were 2-4. Yet in the 4 losses, all were by 5 points or less. A total of 15 points, that's all. What were the biggest separators in those games? Was the inability to establish a running game most of the season a big reason of that?
I mean, it's a part of it. You know, whenever you can control the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, it kind of admonishes gray areas, so to speak. You know, well, we had to make this play in this situation. We had to make this stop in this situation. We had, you know, if you're establishing the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, you got better chances, you know, to control the ball and help not only your passing game, but then I think, too, on defense, we didn't do a great job in some games of establishing the line of scrimmage in regards to stopping the run. And that led us into some situations, too. And then, you know, we played 4 teams that are still playing right now on our schedule. You know, Ashland's still playing, obviously, Assumption,
California,
Cal, and Kutztown. So, you know, it ends up being a pretty tough schedule. You throw, you know, Edinburgh in there and Clarion in there. Lockhaven was over 500, so it ended up being a really tough schedule.
Well, you look at next schedule for next year's already, and Lackawanna is going to be a part of it, but, of course, we don't play Lackawanna. But what you're mentioning, because Lockhaven is not going to be in the West.
Right.
Coming off their best season in a long time. So, and you're playing Ashland again, right?
Yes. That'll probably be the last year out there.
I know you were looking at somebody beyond that, too. Well, you have 11 games, though, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
but
good.
If you replace Ashland, you know, it's the last year for that contract.
Yeah. Here's a question from one of the fans. Let's see here. There we go. As fans, we want to contend for a national title. Is that a realistic or fair expectation, given your resources? If not, what is realistic?
To be honest, when we talk about winning the West, winning the PSAC, and winning the region. It's simply numbers. You get into, after you win the region, you get in the semifinals, you're going to play a team that's fully funded, okay? And when you look at teams that have 12 to 14 more scholarships than you do, it makes a difference. You know, that's probably 25 to 30 more good players on their roster than are on yours. I'm not saying it never can happen, but probably the most realistic, and I'm just being honest, the most realistic goal is winning the region and getting in the Final Four, and then you have a chance. You're in it. You know, the stars, as they say, got a line, and you got to get, you know, a couple breaks here and there. But the team you're going to play is going to be better than you when you get to the Final Four. You know, you might be better than anybody in the region, and you can win the region. But when you go to the semifinals, it doesn't matter which region you're playing against. Those teams are going to be better than you are, just simply because they're fully funded scholarship. They got more players.
And, of course, it's still 36 scholarships
is
for
fully
the conference.
Funded. Yeah. Well, for all of Division II.
Division
is 30.
II,
yeah, if you're fully funded in Division II, you're allowed 36.
In relation to the other universities in our group, in the region, where scholarship-wise is IUP?
Probably right there with most of the schools in the region. You know, I don't know you know, because there's a lot of factors that go into it, because academic money doesn't, you know, you could have 12 scholarships, athletic, and then you could have 12 academic scholarships. They don't count now. They used to, but they don't count anymore. So, I really don't know what everybody else has, but I know in the region, you can be better than anybody you play in the region. No question.
Yeah. Another question here. Going into recruiting, what are your positions of need?
Well, we had a lot of seniors that have played a lot of football. Defensively, really, really everywhere across the board. Offensively, probably more offensive line. Always trying to recruit a quarterback every year.
Mm-hmm.
Skill-wise, we're in pretty good shape on offense.
It's tougher when the last 5 years have been fortunate that you've had good transfer quarterbacks for 5 straight years.
Sure.
But you just never, from that standpoint, we're going to find somebody. How do you basically assess what this season was like?
Well, I think we were probably the number one thing that would come across to me was the inconsistency. Some games and during games we played really good football, and then in the same game, in a different part of the game, we didn't play anywhere near as well as we had played earlier or later in the game. And if you really want to win championships, you got to play like the 17 team and the 22 team, the two teams that won the PSAC. They were very consistent. There wasn't a lot of ups and downs. Those teams combined only lost one game during the regular season, combined. 17 team didn't lose a game during the regular season. The 22 team only lost one game during the regular season. And you don't do that if you're not consistent. If you're inconsistent, you're going to slip up here and there. And the league, our league, was a lot better in regards to more teams that were pretty good. Seton Hill, whose record isn't great, they beat Cal. Gannon, whose record isn't great, they beat Slippery Rock. Edinburgh and Clarion obviously had great years. So there were really 5 teams that legitimately, record-wise, could beat you. It just happens sometimes. The East was really pretty much Kutztown, and then Shepherd came on the second part of the season.
Yeah.
And then actually Lockhaven ended up with an over 500 record. So they I think they were in the upper tier in the East.
Somebody brought up about the running backs. You brought in this year at least 3 running backs.
Right.
With those guys, they'll get an opportunity.
Yeah,
Will you also look for somebody else?
You can never have enough running backs. With Parsons, Doru, who we ended up redshirt, and Mason Dixon, who we ended up redshirt. That's 3 pretty good young backs. Parson obviously had a great true freshman year. But the running back position is a position that you're really always looking for numbers because they get banged up.
Yeah. Okay, I did this a while back at home whenever I have nothing to do, so I have quiz the coach. So it's like a Q&A here.
Here we go.
And by the way, the coach has the ability to
punch you in the mouth.
To pass, if he doesn't want to answer. Okay, favorite player growing up?
Probably Franco Harris.
Is that right? Huh? There you go. Franco Harris. Okay. Social media, like or dislike? You text, I know that. I don't know about Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and all that stuff.
No, dislike. You want one-word answer, dislike.
Okay. Most memorable game for IUP when you were the defensive coordinator?
Probably the playoff game up at Slippery Rock when we beat them in the playoffs, and that was the team that went to the Final Four. 98 maybe.
98.
Yeah. We had lost to them earlier in the year 52-14 at home. And then we drew them in the playoffs up there, and I think they were ranked 3rd in the country. And when we went out there in pregame warm-up, they acted like, what are they even doing here? We beat them by 5 touchdowns down at their place. This is going to be easy, and we end up beating them in overtime.
Yeah. All right. Toughest part about being a head coach?
Well, there's a lot more to it than just those Saturdays. And there's a lot more to it than just football. You got a lot of things that you wouldn't really think a head coach had at this level. In Division I, at the Power 4, these guys are making $8-10 million a year, and they don't really have to deal with anything because they got staffs of 50 people. They're not worrying about a kid getting his rent check, to pay his scholarship. They're not worried about a landlord trying to kick out a kid because he didn't pay his rent.
Yeah.
The guy not being able to pay his bills and can't register. I don't think, Pat Narduzzi and James Franklin are worrying about that.
Worried about that. All right. Favorite sport growing up other than football?
Probably baseball.
That doesn't surprise me. Okay. Was there one thing Coach Signetti, big guy, said to you when you took the job at IUP?
Well, the one thing he said is you'll be here 2 years and you'll go back to Division I. That was like 40 years ago.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Here's a yes or no. Did you ever think you would have been at IUP this long, and why not?
Well, no, I'd never thought, because in this profession it's not heard of a lot.
Yeah.
But I always go back to don't mess with happy. I was told that when I was a young coach coaching somewhere else, and really knowledgeable older coach.
Yeah.
Said, one thing in this profession, you're going to have a lot of opportunities, and don't mess with happy.
Most memorable game as a head coach?
You know what? I would probably say my first game.
Is that right?
In 2017 against Ashland, when we beat them on the field goal in the last play of the game.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that was a good one. Okay. Is there any particular rule in D2 that you would like to see changed?
Yeah, the portal.
That's enough said there. Believe me. How about this one? Favorite musical group or individual? I'll couple it with this. Have you seen any live concerts? As a follow-up is.
Yeah, a few.
Okay.
Not recently. It's been a while.
Let's go. Favorite food or meal that was made by your mom?
Without a doubt, lasagna.
There you go. Any advice given to you by either one of your parents?
Oh, they both gave me a lot of advice, and it was, now that I've lived most of my life, they were on it. It was good advice.
Not most of your life. You're only at the halfway point. I like to think that way. Did you ever consider of being an official like your brother?
Absolutely not. I've always felt sorry for officials.
You've made some pretty good calls, though. Okay. Favorite sports movie of all time?
Well, I don't know if it's sports, but Rocky. I guess it is boxing.
Well, that would answer the next one of your non-sport. Yeah, it would be. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Best advice given to you by a coach you played for or with whom you coached?
Well, at the end of the day, if you give it everything you have, you'll have no regrets. Both in playing and coaching. You can only do so much, and if you've given it everything you have, and what happens.
Yeah. Okay, here's one for you, folks. Did you ever consider attending IUP instead of Slippery Rock?
No, they wouldn't recruit me.
All right, I have 2 questions left. Did you ever read my book?
Absolutely.
Okay. If you had one question to ask me, what would it be?
Do you really enjoy this?
There you go. You don't know how hard I worked on that stuff. We have a great setup in this town, and I was disappointed with a game is game. We win, we lose, whatever. The crowd.
Yeah, I don't.
It was disappointing, and the promotion, lack of it.
Yeah, I mean, our job is to win the game, but I felt bad for the players. I mean, I don't personally, me coaching, I don't care how many people are in the stands, but I thought our players deserved a lot better than what we got Saturday. To be, you know how I am. I tell it like it is. It had nothing to do with winning or losing the game. Absolutely not. You could play with nobody there. You could play with 80,000 there. It has nothing to do with winning or losing the game. But I thought our players deserve better than what they got Saturday.
Well, it's you had a big class this time, 20 seniors.
Right.
And in this day and age with what's going on in college sports, which we don't like everything, you never know who's going to be back and who isn't. So you've got to, I'm sure you put more work in now probably than you ever did.
Well, yeah, you have to. Yeah, absolutely. That's what this portal has done. Before the portal, you recruited high school kids, and that was your class. And you might come across one transfer that is in Division I that can't go Division I because he doesn't want to sit out a year. Like we in the past, before the portal, we didn't even look at Division II transfers. We looked at Division I transfers because they couldn't go Division I. They'd have to sit a year. So if they wanted to play the next year, they had to go Division II. And that usually doesn't happen until, after spring practice. Then they see where they're at, and then it's a lot easier because they have to go Division II if they want to play. And they won't really go in Division I. Didn't recruit other Division I transfers because they don't want a guy that's going to have to sit a year. They don't want to have him there for a year and sit and not be eligible.
Right. Yeah.
So it's just made it it's really bad. I mean, to be honest with you, it's hard. Like you got to. My job is to maintain the program, not build a team every year. And that's what you have to do now with this portal.
Coach, it's been a pleasure. Thank you. Thank to all these wonderful people and the people that listen. We'll go get them for next year.
All right, buddy. Enjoy your day.
Coach Tortorella, there you go. Thank you, one and all. This has been a great year, Hawk Talk, and we hope to see you again. And we'll go from there and keep listening to IUP Athletics, all right? We really appreciate, and we appreciate our sponsors, our producer back at our studio, Danielle Pisarczyk and Sam and John Smathers. Thank you, one and all. That's it from here. This is Jack Benedict, and as always, have a Major League night. We'll see you again next time.
The preceding program has been a special.
IUP Spirit and get your hawk on with help from the Co-op Store, your one-stop location for all your IUP swag and apparel. Check out Norm's Bargain area for $25 fleeces and hoodies. Logo tees only $9.99. The Co-op Store is also the alumni headquarters. IUP is always in your heart, so put something on your front and back that shows that alumni spirit. IUP logoed water bottles, coffee mugs, spirit items for your dorm or man cave. And don't forget the Oak Grove collection. Get your hawk on at the Co-op Store or find them online at IUPstore.com.